Hey guys, welcome to Red50. Thank you for tuning into another video. If you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. So, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the S650 Mustang spy shots. It's no secret that the S650 Mustang spy shots have been leaked and have been circulating all over the internet. We've discussed them on our channel a couple times and tried to extract information out of it. Matter of fact, there were actually new spy shots leaked couple days ago, and we're going to be covering those in depth on our channel as well. So make sure you are subscribed as we discuss those new spy shots for the S650 Mustang. Of course, the spy shots of the S650 Mustang consist of the S650 Mustang being heavily camouflaged, so it's really difficult to extract some of the key details or even like the body lines from the spy shots. But there is one thing that obviously we're certain I've covered that in my previous videos, but if you haven't been following, then the good news is that the V8 and the manual transmission remains for S650 Mustang. Take a listen for yourself if you missed the clips before. As you can listen from this clips, obviously that is a V8, and that's a really good news for us car enthusiasts because honestly, we were kind of worried that we were going to lose the V8 given that there's a strong push of EVs. But at least for now, we want to keep the V8 for as long as we can, and we're glad to be hearing that the V8 is going to remain at least for the start of the S650 Mustang generation. However, there are a couple things about the S650 Mustang spy shot that does not get me all that excited, and matter of fact kind of has me concerned a little bit. So in this video I want to review some of the specific shots and highlight some of the key areas why I think the S650 Mustang, at least based on the initial spy shots, may not be as exciting as we're expecting it to be, unfortunately. So let's start off with the exterior. Here we've got the S650 Mustang with its side profile, and you can kind of see that's very similar to the S550 Mustang, which is the current generation of the Mustang. And that's the part that has me concerned a bit because each generation of the Mustang has seen dramatic changes. Like if you were to look at the Fox body and how it turned into the SN95 Mustangs, and then the SN95 turned into S197 Mustang, and then the S550 Mustang, each body looks completely different. If you were to kind of debash them, put them there, and have like an untrained eye, they won't be able to tell that it's an evolution of the same exact Mustang. And that part is obviously very excited for us car enthusiasts because we know we're going to get a completely new generation. Everything is going to be different from the exterior to the interior and potentially even engine options because the body looks completely different and Ford has put some thought into it. This seems like a refresh for the S550 Mustang. I know that's not the case, but it seems like it in terms of where the body shape is headed, given the same fastback look. This would be like basically if you think about how SN95 went from SN95 to New Edge, or the S197 went 4.6 V8 engine to the 5.0 Coyote engine, and even the early S550 Mustang to the refreshed S550 Mustang. Overall, it retained the shape. Of course, us car enthusiasts knew what to spot for, and we could tell the bodies apart and the interior apart, but to an untrained eye, if they spotted like, I don't know, a 2009 Mustang versus a 2010 Mustang, they may just think it's a very similar car. Now, part of me wanted to believe that these spy shots that were deemed to be S650 Mustang spy shots are probably maybe some S550 Mustang, maybe a new trim that's kind of going to be in the making. But upon close inspection, especially the lights, you can tell the lights in the hood are very different. If you look at the lights, the tri-bar lights aren't there for the rear. But okay, maybe these little LEDs that you're looking at, maybe they're tacked on because they don't look like something that would be in the production model. But if you look at closely for the front headlights, you can clearly see these are some LED daytime running lights, which is a lot different from what we have on the S550 Mustangs, which is a tri-bar design for the daytime running lights. And of course, moving on to the hood, we've talked about it in a previous video too, but if you look at the hood, it looks very aggressive. It's slightly raised compared to the S550 post-refresh models, which has like the sloping hood shape going on, which is definitely nothing close to what we have seen in these spy shots. Now, obviously, the lights in the hood kind of prove us to be that, this is not the S550 Mustang. It is, in fact, the S650 Mustang spy shots. Now, If you recall from the clip earlier that we showed for the V8 noise and the manual transmission, you can kind of spot the bullet steering wheel. So the fact that the steering was able to fit into the S650 Mustang again kind of leads me to believe it's more of a refresh. I'm not saying refresh in the sense that it's another refresh for the 6th generation, but it is going to be a new generation, but not much is going to change based on what we can tell. Of course, for interior, we don't have many shots from the interior, so I can't really tell if something else has changed, maybe the leather seats or the infotainment system. But from what I can gather, which is just the steering wheel, it looks awfully similar to the S550 Mustang. And exterior obviously looks slightly different, but obviously is very, very heavily camouflaged. So I can't extract much details out, but based on what we have, it looks, I mean, my guess is that it looks very close to the S550 Mustang. Now, given how Ford has always drastically changed the Mustang between each generation, kind of like what we talked about earlier with the Fox body to the New Edge, S197 to S550 Mustang, I'm kind of curious as to what's happening here, because here, obviously, we said it looks very similar to the S550 Mustang generation. Now, I wonder if Ford really wanted to start off the 7th generation of the Mustang, which would have been S650 Mustang, if they were going to start that off with the electric version. But maybe the tech isn't ready yet. Maybe Ford didn't anticipate the EV push was going to be strong, and they probably wanted to hold off until 2024, 2025, because traditionally Mustang generations have stuck out for about 9-10 years. So it is kind of an early for a next-gen Mustang to be popping up only 8 years in. But of course, the fact that the S550 Mustang has been out for so long, maybe they didn't want to leave another couple years to not update the S550 Mustang, so they're choosing to just bring out the S650 Mustang with, relatively similar body and, having the similar type of engine, and wait for like a refresh in 2025, 2026, where they'll potentially introduce like a hybrid V8, or maybe just go all out with the electric motor and have an electric Mustang. I don't know how I feel about it personally, but we'll see when we kind of have Ford's detail on that in terms of the power, the 0 to 60. Who knows? I mean, it's going to be missing the sound, but we know it's going to be pretty fast with the electric motors. So yeah, I mean, of course, that's the downside. I feel like maybe Ford has rushed the 7th generation Mustang in terms of, getting something out there for the Mustang and just having a new generation, but maybe what they had truly envisioned with the electric Mustang, or maybe a hybrid V8 Mustang, is just not ready, but they also don't want the S550 Mustang sales to keep declining. So we'll wait for the official Ford unveil, which should be hopefully this year. Let me know what your thoughts are in terms of the S650 Mustang. Do you think it's going to be just a mild refresh, or we're actually going to see a completely new generation from the S650 Mustang? If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to Red 50 for more Mustang content.